Hi, and welcome to Inspiring Artists Worth Studying. Today I'm going to be talking about Alex Toth. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist in the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. Two things come to mind when talking about Alex Toth: design and simplicity. Uh, and part of the design is the design of lights and blacks. And the simplicity comes in the line work that he tends to do and the simplicity of shape that he tends to use. So I thought I'd go over some of his work here. So this is a really good example. It's unfortunately a really bad JPEG, so I can't really zoom in too much because then you just get all the pixels. But as you can tell, just from this composition, these compositions, look at this amazing shot. There's a little bit of a silhouette here, and then you got this shot here of these characters. This shot here of this guy framed by the black. There's a lot of amazing framing here, and the very simple shapes of his face. We have the black here and the two characters here talking. A lot of really great drama being played out here. Both of these characters silhouetted against this black. And notice that this line is not quite in the center. It breaks the picture plane a little bit beyond the center, which makes this that much more dynamic and interesting of a shot. Also, the silhouette of the trees here compared to the white here, indicating the grassy hill. Really fantastic, really well done. He was a master of composition. He was a master of draftsmanship. He was a master of design. He was a master of blacks and whites. Here we have another one of his comic pages, and as you can tell, just with the blacks and the whites coming together, very clean, very simple, very interesting amounts of silhouettes. Just a dash of gray. It looks like he was using some marker here to make things pop a little bit more. But overall, the simplicity of all of this, just mood and setting and the shadow shapes and the way that everything is so well illustrated and so very clear. You can tell from this that someone like Mike Mignola, which I will be making a video of, was heavily influenced by this. Again, here we have another comic page from the Mark of Zorro, I believe that comic is called. And I'll show you that comic in a second. But yeah, and that comic is so good. It's so good to have, just as a study of storytelling and continuity, and how to present information in a very clear way. Here we have Zorro. This is a midtone, and then he's framed in this white. Again, framed by the white. We have the midtone, two midtones. We have midtone here, but the important part is that we see his face, and his face is framed by the hat, which is black. Then we've got Zorro's face, which is framed by the fact that it's black. Here we have a midtone so that we can see him pop against the white, and we see him because the most important areas of the panel are in the most contrasty. It's got the most black in both sides, and you can see all of that in all of these panels. That it's very clear where our eye is supposed to go. Even if there is a lot of extra line work and detail going on, it's an instant read. You look at it and you go, okay, this is where my eye is supposed to go. That's where my eye is supposed to go. You don't have to search around trying to figure out where you're supposed to be looking at. All of it is very clear, very clean. it's really well told. Another thing that I like about Alex Toth is how versatile he was. He was a great draftsman, but he could do cartoony as well. And so we got this. And the thing about his cartoony stuff is that he had really great shapes. They were exaggerated just enough, and it was, see how clear and clean this is. Big face, tiny little body. I mean, big head, tiny little face in the middle. This is a really good. This is a really beautiful shape here. Look at this really dynamic shot of the guy moving forward and pointing at this little man over here. Very cartoony. This is only one of the few comics that I was able to pull up on while I was doing search for his work that shows his cartoony style. I have another book which I will show you with more of his cartoony work. Hopefully I could find it. I should have. I haven't searched for it in my bookshelf. So I apologize if I end up not being able to find it before the video is over. So here we have another one of his comics. So I'm only showing you most of his comics because he did a lot of comic book work, but he did do a ton of design work, and I don't have any. I don't know how much of his design work I have here, but I will show it to you if I do have some. I forgot what I downloaded here, but again, more storytelling work. Very clear, very simple. The faces, the simple statement of the face, it's all very clear. None of this too much detail for detail's sake, and the story very clearly shows. Here's the eye line coming over here. Then we are seeing from her point of view. Very clear, very beautiful work. The silhouette here with this character, it's just Alex Toth was just a master. This is this is a great page. So many people, a lot of the great illustrators were able to draw really great crowds in a very clear way. And this is no exception. Black and white. There's none of that fancy coloring that we've got today. So this needed to be able to read in basically 3 values. We have midtone, black, and white. And it absolutely reads. You could read everybody's faces. You could distinctly see everybody's body. You could understand what is happening just by looking at it. And then now we've got this amazing little composition of this character in the foreground. This great face. Some action sequence. Boom, getting hit. Boom, another one getting hit. Really dynamic. Very powerful storytelling beats here. And this shot here, so good. Totally framing, seeing what he's looking at. I mean, man, he's so good. Nice storytelling shot from right underneath the stairs, and actually seeing where he's headed, which is really interesting. He shows that this is where he's headed in this panel. That's really great storytelling right there. I don't know if I would have thought to have done a shot like this if I was doing this drawing this. I would have ended up not having this thing here. But these two elements connect this walk down here, so that you don't have to see him walk again all the way down here. You knew that he did that, and then he came down here. It's amazing. An action sequence. He did draw a lot of pretty gals as well, and one of the ones that he drew quite a bit was Black Canary. So we've got her kicking some butt here. And this is it's really dynamic, very clear fight sequence here. Boom! She grabs his leg and pulls him. Boom! Crack right on his head, and he's seeing stars. Very clear, very clean, beautiful artwork. Very dynamic. You could understand everything that's going on, and there isn't a lot of superfluous detailing. Oh, this is clear. This is clean. This is beautiful. Oh, this is fantastic. Look how beautiful this drawing is, and how dynamic it all looks just because it's just black and white. There isn't even any mid-tone or even an attempt for a mid-tone in this. And yet it all reads very clearly. Look at this guy's face. It's amazing. What a great design. Look how thin it is. He's got so much character. There's nothing generic about any of these two guys. They both have very clear, very clean characters. Look at this amazing profile. It's so clear and clean. And then we've got all these blacks that frame all of this very clear, very clean face. I think he basically traced this head and put it on this guy. That's something I do all the time, is just trace the heads. But very, very, very cool. Beautiful work. Nice. This is a foreshortened shot. Very difficult to do. On top of that, here, look at my hand drawing, which is amazing. And you get to see the shoes. Line right here. Boom. And why is there a line right here and then there's black? Why is that? Because it's framing the face where our eye is supposed to go. And nothing else is as important. Like the two important things are his face, and then the second read is look at these shoes. And again, here we got a face and the details that we're really supposed to be presented with, and a lot of character in this face. And we've got a couple of here's our picture of our hero over here, and some designs. He's got a sketchbook here. So yeah, we've got designs here, different body types, great use of folds and lighting, very clear, clean line work here. Again, more very clear, clean line work. This is for designs for these are model sheets for an animated cartoon that he was doing designs for. Cute girls, 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 nerdy guys, etc. So here we have his nerdy guys that character that were supposed to be used in this animated thing, and here's the girls here. But notice how clean these shapes are. And even though there's so much, there's a mastery of drapery here. He's just amazing. Great, great drawing here. Another Hanna-Barbera Storyboard. And here's some designs that he did for Hanna-Barbera. But check this out. Beautiful illustration. Just the blacks and the whites and the way that he placed everything, and how clean and clear everything is. Alex Toth was highly influential over somebody like Mike Mignola, as I said before, but also for somebody like Bruce Timm. Alex Toth designed Space Ghost, and a lot of he designed the Super Friends. Although the Super Friends animated cartoon didn't quite live up to the draftsmanship of his actual original designs, he did design them, and his work is pretty amazing, because if you look at his actual designs, they are really quite clear and clean and beautiful. And if you just don't have the draftsmanship chops to work off of this stuff, it's not going to translate very well, because he was able to simplify something very complicated in a very simple way. here I believe it says 1994 or 93, so this is way, 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 way later in his life. And so this is where he's kind of ended up with his style and the look of his drawings. And somewhere in between the super cartoony and clear, and at the same time, he still had it. I'm assuming that he it didn't take him too long to do these sort of things. But very clear, very clean, amazing work, Alex Toth. If you aren't aware of Alex Toth, I highly, 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 highly recommend you go to Amazon. Just buy everything that you could find on Alex Toth. I will show you some of my books on Alex Toth, and then I will just right now. Give me a second. Okay, so I found the books that I was hoping to find in my bookshelf. So this one is the Zorro book. I actually bought it from my friend Jared Narcome. He had another copy, so I ended up buying his extra copy. And again, this is just amazing. This is just an education in comic book storytelling and how to set up good compositions, clear compositions. I mean, you can't go wrong with looking at a master comic book artist's work. So this book was out of print for a very, very, very long time because it came out and immediately was pulled off the shelves because the work in here, nobody had gotten permission to publish any of this work. This is this is basically all of Alex Toth's work in Hanna-Barbera, with all the designs from Hanna-Barbera, and it's amazing. Like you know, you got Birdman over here. You got there's just so much good stuff in here. It's ridiculous. This is just a masterpiece of seeing everything Toth, basically. We got the Super Friends character designs over here. Anyway, this is an amazing book. So why am I sharing this if this is out of print? Well, because it's no longer out of print. It's back in print. At least I as of the time of this recording, I haven't checked. But I will, if I could find it. I'll put a link to it on Amazon so you could get it. But I know that they actually got permission to get all the artwork, and then they republished it with permission. So I know that this book exists as a second print, but it took 10 years for them to reprint it. So I highly recommend getting it before it gets pulled off of shelves again. I don't know what the status of it is now, but I will look for it and I will try to get it. And I'll put a link to it on the description so that you can more easily find it. And it'll be an affiliate link, so that means I'll get like 2 or 3 cents for the commission or whatever. This is one that I bought because I love the cartoony Toth stuff in it. He does really cartoony looking comics in here. And it's like, what? Look how cool his cartoony guys are. Like, oh my gosh, like his designs are cool. Like he was so versatile as a designer, as an artist. And this is a little bit more comedic and way more fun. And it really shows his versatility, so I highly, highly recommend this book. Hopefully it's still in print. I think I got it when I went to Comic-Con like 20 years ago. But highly recommend this book. I will see if I can find a link to it and put it in the description of this video, along with a lot of other Alex Toth things. Highly, highly recommend Alex Toth. He's just one of the masters that you ought to just have in your collection and study and look at and always go to whenever you feel stuck or need inspiration. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you next time. All right, bye.